Hey, everybody. Yes, welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by the great Chris Schaefer. Chris,
Oh,
how's it going?
I'm good, Jason. Happy to see you again. As always, every week I get my dose of Jason, and it helps me get through the rest of the week. So it's good to see you. It's good to see you, my
Good.
virtual buddy, person
Yeah,
I've never seen in any format outside of a screen. But it's good. I still trust you. I was gonna say love, but I can't say that.
well, Chris, last week it was like dancing with a dance partner with two left feet.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it. You've been educated, you've been corrected, you've been
Yeah,
disciplined,
I guess. Okay.
and you've apologized
Yeah. even
profusely.
Even though the whole episode started with asking, I listened back to the episode. The whole episode started with me asking you for an apology, and for the next hour, it's just like I was the one that was in the wrong, which is
It was a
was
very, it's a shame because I can't remember it, but now I'm seeing it. The topic, the
mm,
secrets to getting more leads from Google Ads. It was a very important, good topic,
mm-hmm.
and something went wrong with the episode. It was very antagonistic.
I thought it was
There was a weird beef, but the weird thing was that the audience should know there was absolutely no problems behind the scenes at all. It's just
mm,
we pressed record and sometimes you don't have it, meaning both of us. Sometimes both of us don't
right.
have it, even
Oh, it's
though
both of us. Oh,
no, that
okay,
sounded wrong the way it came out. But what I mean is you as a show, we just
right.
sometimes you don't have it. And I don't know what the deal was,
Yeah.
but it was crazy. It was a very weird episode. I did not like it. I
Hey,
did not like that weird
it's
antagonism that was existing for no reason. So
yeah. It's at least that means 309 A+ episodes. I think we get a miss every now and then.
that's one positive I did take out of it, Chris, is that, wow, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we just show up every single week and
Mm.
we keep going. And there's a lot of benefits to that for the audience and everyone involved. So, man, we're number 58 in the United States of America for the Apple Podcast charts for marketing. We just
Wow.
can't crack that top 20 because
Mm.
I think we're a little too niche
Hey,
for that, if that's the goal, but that's not
there's
the goal.
only if I was a little funnier and you were a little better looking, maybe we could be there. But
A lot of people think you're funny right now, Chris. And then one person on the planet wants to hurt you physically, but that's okay. Uh, you're you got some good jokes there, Chris.
yeah,
But hey, we got a lot going on. So just before we get into it, I just want to let everybody know everything that we're out here doing. So there's a podcast out there called PPC Daily, Apple Podcasts. I'm just going to make sure I got the title there right. PPC Daily, and
mm-hmm.
that's you and I, and we put out clips of this podcast on that podcast feed. So if you want very segmented little episode topics, that comes out Monday through Friday. So search for the PPC Daily on your podcast player and subscribe there. We're on YouTube, Paid Search Podcast, and we put out clips as well on the channel. We don't spam your subscription feed, but we do put out the main episodes on Mondays. So we're there. You can see the video. And then we have the archive at paidsearchpodcast.com. You can get the first 100 episodes, which are not available on the podcast feeds. And then send us your questions. We do a Q&A every few weeks. We have an
Yeah,
Ask a Question page on the website. So send us
that'll be
those.
coming up. That'll be coming up. So get them in now.
Yeah, we're going to do a real big one here soon in June. And then brand new, Chris, it's live. The PPC jobs page on the Paid Search Podcast. We have a lot of people in our audience that work in this business and are looking for new opportunities and jobs. And now we have a job listings page, PPC Jobs, on the paidsearchpodcast.com, paidsearchpodcast.com. And right now there's a listing for a senior PPC specialist, a part-time freelance position for Google Ads Manager, and a PPC account manager. And so if you're looking for jobs, check out that page. And then if you want to list a job, fill out that form on that page, and we can see if we can get you listed. But we've got a great audience, Chris, and we want to connect them with better opportunities and make things a little more competitive here in the paid search environment. So if you're a crappy boss, you're going to have to step up your game, because now people are going to be able to connect their skill set with better agencies out there.
Yeah.
So let's mix it up a little in this world, Chris. So we're doing a lot here, and of course, the Paid Search podcast every Monday with me and the great Chris Schaefer. So what do you think of all that, Chris? Is it too much? Are we doing it right? Do we have good systems in place? Can we handle it?
Oh, the systems are beautiful, and I love that people can come here, free education, and find a new opportunity to make money and build their career in PPC. I think it's great. I love it, and we're not even getting anything out of it. We're just offering this opportunity. I mean, we've always given free advice. Now we're giving free job listings, and it's always been a great community. If you can find us on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, people can participate in the conversation there. Jason, it's just a win-win-win.
Chris, so, I need things focused. I can get distracted too easily, and I just went to our Facebook page to promote our Facebook group. And if you can find the group, I encourage you to ask to join and say you'll follow the rules and tell us how you found us. But I don't know how to find that group now going to the page, because I'm looking at the page from a logged in account and I'm seeing like all the options you can do.
You can't figure it out.
What a horrible product and platform.
Uh-huh.
It used to be so simple, nice square edges and everything, clean lines, as some people like when they buy a home. When I watch those shows with my wife, but it's all these little trying to do the mobile design on desktop. There's too much going on. It's slow. It's clunky. They're talking about let's just check that stock price. We checked it a few weeks ago. I think they were down about $500 billion. Let's see if they've come back.
Meta's gonna change their name, and
year to date down 41%. Yeah. So not a big fan of that platform, but I like the group thing. If you can find it, we got a great group on there. The PSP Facebook group.
The people
on
are
Facebook.
good. The platform, not so much the people, are good.
So that's everything we're doing. And today, in case you're curious, 7 minutes in, we are going to be talking about ClickShare.
They read the title, but okay.
Why do you think that's a productive comment, Chris? Do you think that helps the flow of the show?
Why do you think I always make productive comments?
Brain.
Why do you think I make productive comments?
Well, I don't think they're productive, but why do you make what are called productive comments?
I didn't say they were.
Yes, and Chris. Yes, and.
I just ClickShare is what we're talking about, and
wow.
I don't know if we've ever...
The fact that this is the #1 Google Ads podcast and you're part of it is just... You must have a lot of people praying for you, Chris, because good things are happening.
I'm held up by prayer. Yeah, that's right. Or you are. Maybe it's you.
Oh my God. You are something else, dude. All right.
I think you've changed.
Wow. Okay. So, so as I was saying, and then I got interrupted, and again, there was no reason. I just don't understand the reason for you to do that. And I think that's evident based on the last 30 seconds of the show here. But that was last week. This is this week. And I do a lot of work in my life, Chris, to de-stress and deal with people who have a lower intelligence than I do. Without it bringing me down. So that's why I'm able to handle this right now. We're going to be talking about ClickShare, episode 311, and it's a very interesting topic, a very segmented off topic in Google Ads. It just kind of gives you data, and then what you want to do with it is kind of up to you. But it's a very important column, and it can answer a very specific question that I get from clients a lot, which is, how much more could we be spending? And I think it answers that better than any other column we ever talk about. And we might have a disagreement on this based on my viewing of the notes that you made. But I think that'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to getting into it. So, Chris, let's do the thing you're good at here. Google Ads. Let's wind them up, and get them to talk about Google Ads for 40 minutes and shine.
Right before I mentioned Opteo, opteo.com/PSP that is the URL that you need to go to because, guys, you're listening to the one place that offers you the best deal on the best Google Ads management software in the world. We don't even mention other advertisers because we are entirely happy to push and promote the number one Google Ads management software out there. We don't think there's any other competitors because this does exactly what I need. I use it myself. I use it for some of my bigger accounts because honestly, I start to run dry on ideas. I start to panic. I start to think, I look at this screen, I don't know what to do. These improvements are wonderful additions to the knowledge level that you gain on this show. There are things that you will not see in the Google Ads interface. And the Optio system helps you to find those additional points of interest and capitalize on them to improve the performance of your campaign, from reports to improvements to amazing dashboards. The Optio system does it all, and you get to try it for 8 weeks, 2 months for free if you go to optio.com/PSP. That's an exclusive link to get a special offer only on the Paid Search Podcast.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So this topic comes from the great Chris Schaefer. You were inspired to talk about ClickShare. Just
Yes.
I'm always curious. Why? What did something have you looking at ClickShare? Do you look at ClickShare every week as a part of your custom columns at the campaign level? Why ClickShare? Why now?
So I was in a session with a very smart man who was going through his very complex campaign, and he kept referring to ClickShare. And
Wow.
it's not something that I use. It's not something that I have by default on my campaign or keyword or ad group level. Nothing. I do not use it at all. And I wanted to revisit it. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it should be something I pay attention to. And if we do disagree at the end, Jason, I think that's great because I think that's where the show shines the most, is when people get two different opinions. I don't want us to just be parrots of each other because we
Don't
are
worry
two
about that.
independent thinking geniuses, or at least one of us.
Yeah.
Denethis. Yeah. I mean, I just want to talk about it. That's where it
So
comes from.
what was your reaction? Did you gulp when this client is asking you about ClickShare and you're like, little Flintstones cartoon foot scrambling to find where ClickShare column is? Or did you go, oh, no, I know where ClickShare is. It's interesting. Someone's bringing it up to me. But, yeah, let's go check it out. What was your reaction to that?
Oh, my reaction was don't use that.
Wow.
Don't use ClickShare.
Whoa.
I told them to take it off their columns, and
It's going to be an awkward episode.
Don't use it. Yeah.
I have now decided to make ClickShare a permanent saved column at the campaign level.
We're gonna towards the end of the show. We're gonna use the first half here to talk about what it is, give some definitions to it, look it up on the Google support docs. Get the real information, and then we'll get into the opinion stuff after. So I'm really curious to find out, what it is that made you fall in love with it, because I am definitely not in love. I would very much say we're separated, and
I can already see why you don't like this column.
Yeah.
Because there's other columns that make up this data that you can get better actionable decisions on. Give yourself a slap.
See,
we both deserve it. We're mumbling today. Give yourself a slap.
No, I
slap
don't
yourself.
myself.
I just slapped myself.
No,
wow,
you've made me hurt myself so many times on this show, from suspender slaps to button pops. No.
Yeah, you're right. So let's talk about what is ClickShare in Google Ads.
Well, starting from the basics, and Jason, you can fill in the stuff in between, is, the basics is it's a column that is available in the campaign, the ad group, and the keyword view of search campaigns. So if you don't see ClickShare, that's because you do not have that column enabled in your view on Google Ads. And there are many, many, many columns. In no way would I tell you to enable all the columns because much of it is going to be repetitive information that you don't need.
Or even more than 10% of the columns, probably just on a numbers
Right.
basis. We probably use
That's true.
10% of the columns?
Yeah,
15%?
it's probably true. Yeah.
10%?
So the click share is just another metric. And that's what I want to get into. I mean, what does it show? What does it do? Where is it? Where's the data derived from, and how do we interpret it? But that's all it is. It's just another metric. That it's not anything, magical that comes from areas that we don't already have. It's a combination of different metrics.
And it looks like you mentioned hotel and shopping, so it's on shopping campaigns.
Yes.
Hotel. Oh, you know what? Great topic for next week, Chris. Let's do a deep dive on hotel campaigns. You ready for that?
Yeah, sure. I've never done one. Never done one. And if someone said, "Hey, can you run a hotel campaign for me?" I'll tell you right now, I would turn it down.
Yeah. So it's on shopping campaigns, hotel campaigns, and search campaigns, which to me essentially sounds like it's not on display campaigns. Basically,
video.
Good point. Yeah, video. And then where is it, Chris? You're saying campaign. I think ad group is ad group correct? And I know keyword.
Yeah,
you can get it at the keyword area as well.
Yep.
But so campaign, ad group, keyword, and then you you go to your columns, and it's under competitive metrics. Click share.
Yep, competitive metrics, which I think that's important. Because as we'll get into a little bit later and define exactly,
it's a cousin of impression share stuff.
A cousin, I like that.
Yeah,
a cousin. Okay.
So, Chris, I'm just going to read when you highlight the column here. I'm going to read that definition, and then we can get into this support doc and kind of go through our highlights through there.
Okay.
So, click share when you add the column and then hover over it to get it defined for you. Click share is the clicks you've received on the search network divided by the estimated maximum number of clicks that you could have received. How often your product is being clicked on depends on your ad's targeting settings, budget, approval statuses, bids, and the quality of your product data.
I tell you what, I mean, I'm going to have a hard time not throwing an opinion like right at the top of the show because that definition pisses me off already because it's like.
You're not going to have a hard time not giving an opinion because I just muted your mic. And I feel like I just found the power back on this show. And I have scooped the power back up to myself because now your mic is muted and I control when you speak. But I won't abuse that. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I was like, this notification just popped up on my screen. I'm like, what the heck is that?
You know how it is, Chris.
Oh man.
So yeah, save your opinions.
Okay.
But I kind of get what you're saying, just because I love teasing. I love teasing stuff on the show in here, and basically what I think we're going to get to is like I love click share because it answers questions the way I want them to be answered. Just a boom. What is the freaking number? What I could grow to?
Okay.
And then you don't like it because you want to know how to grow to that number and the individual different pieces of data that you could get. But that is the definition, Chris. It basically, what does it show? You wrote in the estimated share of all achievable clicks that you could have received. A way to inverse that is of the clicks, the actual clicks that you got, this is the percentage you got of what you could have got. So if you got 4 clicks and your click share is 40% over that time range, you could have gotten 10 clicks. So it tells you how many you could have gotten. Right. Well, why don't you go into the support doc here? It's called About Click Share, official Google help. We'll have a report in our we'll have a link in our description. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, you ask, why use it? Chris, you guys are talking about it today. Why use it? And I mean, Google's going to basically tell you in the help document here. Essentially, you can use the click share metric to understand where you have potential to capture even more clicks. And Jason, I mean, last week when we were having our show, you and I talked about, two of the biggest problems. Either Google Ads is not working or it's not working enough, right? And ClickShare absolutely answers the question of it's not working enough. I need it to work more. I need more of it. And that's, I think, just stripping away all the opinion stuff, I think that's a really important singular metric when it comes to analyzing where there's more potential. Because if someone's having success and they want more of it, you can just look at the ClickShare, and if it's a low number, that there's more potential there. And I think that's, pretty cut and dry. I do like that aspect of it.
Yeah, and they give an example here, if you receive 60 clicks and your ClickShare is 60%, then it's estimated that there were another 40 clicks you could have gotten. And then they give some of the reasons. If you had more extensions, higher bids, higher budgets, or in the case of shopping campaigns, showed more products for the search query. Let me just hover it over again. Depends on your targeting settings. So as you understand it, Chris, if I'm running a Monday through Friday schedule and my ClickShare is not at 100%, is part of that reason why I am not at 100% because I'm not running on Saturdays and Sundays?
Well,
or should we keep that in mind as we go?
Yeah, we're going to get into that stuff.
A lot of questions, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of confusion, and that's where a lot of my problem stems from. But yeah,
okay, so let's talk about how ClickShare works, like how they get this data.
Yeah. So the help doc again is where we want to go because we want to give you the facts, and then we'll kind of talk about it a bit more. So in the help doc again, it says how ClickShare works. Similar to Impression Share, Google Ads analyzes the ad auctions over the course of the day and includes all auctions that your ad showed in. And here's the important part. If you were listening, this is the part that adds on. So it includes all auctions that your ad showed in and the auctions where your ad competed but did not show. This is going to start to pinpoint some of the rub that I have.
So I'm taking that as to answer my question. If you did not compete on Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to say you're not. It's a gray area because some of it, they talk about your targeting settings.
Well, it says where your ad competed. So in other words, where you lost the ability to show because of... And
I'm saying you did not compete on Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Because you're off. Yeah.
So that would not factor in to ClickShare.
Okay. And again, they say targeting settings, so it gets a little confusing there. But like you, I'm going to err on the side of for your schedule that you run on, because they're saying we're going to analyze the auctions where your ad showed, and then the auctions also where your ad competed but did not show. But you have to compete to be in either of those, and you're not competing if you're off for part of the schedule. So
right. So in other words, if you block certain device types, or you block certain times of the day, or days entirely, or this is probably pretty obvious, but if you block or don't target certain geographic areas, if you're targeting all of Texas, and it's not going to tell you your ClickShare of what it would be if you were targeting the entire United States.
Great point. Or Saturday and Sunday if you're off during the days. Yeah.
So if you're not targeting, it doesn't include it. But we're starting to scratch the surface on some of the issues that I have with it.
Can I point out one more thing, Chris? I was just curious. I looked it up. What about search partners? Because we've been talking about search partners lately, about the volume that's available there now that seems to be growing in some accounts. I'm popping open a very large volume campaign account that has multiple campaigns running on both Google Search and Search Partners. You pop open, you add the ClickShare column, and then you pop open the network. I get ClickShare data for Google Search. I'm not getting that for Search Partners. And if you're going to be making ClickShare, if you're going to be making bidding decisions and budget decisions based on ClickShare, you may want to open up the networks and make sure you're making those decisions about Google Search, because that's where it looks like we get the ClickShare data. It doesn't look like we get it on Search Partners. I feel confident saying that because I'm looking at one large account with lots of volume on Search Partners, and I don't get any ClickShare numbers in here.
And the reason for that is because Search Partners do not provide position metrics, and part of the formula for ClickShare includes position metrics,
Yeah.
and click-through rate and a lot of other things. But that, you're right, that is the
I
reason
can see where you are going here, Chris, in terms of not making too hard of a hardcore decision based on ClickShare data if there's all these other factors that it is not including. But I get what you're saying. So carry on.
All right. So I mean, again, to restate, ClickShare includes all auctions where your ad showed or where your ad was competitive in the auction. For example, it could include auctions where your ad could show at twice its current bid. Okay, so
Or
that's
10 times. You might have a device down to negative 90%, a device bid adjustment on, say, computers for whatever reason, negative 90%. You're still competing, as I understand it. You're just not going to show if most likely if you have a negative 90% bid adjustment and your bids are normal bids, you're probably not going to show, but it's still going to factor into that ClickShare data because technically you competed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this, I don't feel like we're there yet, but this is a little burdensome to me because I want to know the why, and this is where I tend to get bothered because if there is it the click through rate, is that why I'm not getting enough of the ClickShare? My click through rate is low, or is it because I needed to bid twice as much, and that's why my ClickShare is low? I want to know the why. This
is very much a it's not you, it's me breakup situation. Like someone breaks up with you, they say, it's not you, it's me. But you don't believe that because they broke up with you. And if you were good enough, they would have stayed with you no matter what's going on with them. But they don't really tell you what is it about me? Is it my weight? Do I not brush my teeth enough? Does my breath smell? Do I chew with my mouth open? Yeah. Is it because I cheated on you 30 times in the past 3 months? What is it? What is it about me? Be fair. Just give me an answer. And ClickShare doesn't do that, but it at least tells you you're getting broken up with X% of the time. You're not getting clicks. So
that's a great, yeah.
So just to wrap this, how it works section up, Chris, keep in mind, ClickShare includes all auctions where your ad showed. They say or, but I'm going to say and, where your ad was competitive, but it did not show.
Right.
ClickShare is just an estimate. Small fluctuations over time don't matter. Some clients need to hear that. I think it's very good that they pointed that out. This column might have more going into it than any other column, maybe outside of quality score or something like that. Like there's a lot going on here. And if your ClickShare 1 month is at 61% and the next month it's at 57%, I don't really think that means anything because trying to go and pinpoint what that last 4% was from the change, it's too hard to do that. But I think it is good if you look at it like, oh, my ClickShare is 90%. Or my ClickShare is 30%. It can kind of really tell you kind of where you stand overall, but don't worry too much about the fluctuations. And then your eligible clicks can grow. So to increase your ClickShare, you may need to increase your bids, improve the quality of your ads, and more extensions. But the other thing to point out is that the different products and services have different seasonality. And even with that seasonality, Chris, where the volume goes up and down, people's engagement, to bring up another platform, goes up and down. Sometimes you get the same amount of searches, but the click-through rates on ads might be higher because people are more wanting that service. Like I see this with movers in the spring and summer. Things just pick up. Click-through rates pick up. People are more engaged. So the ClickShare, it can grow over time. And then the other thing, Chris, Google's showing people on more and more searches with responsive ads, with different match type changes and stuff like that, and different searches coming into the Google search ecosystem. And so this can change over time. So those are things to note in terms of how ClickShare works. Biggest thing to note is it just tells you the amount of clicks you got compared to what you could have gotten. How you get more ClickShare, how you get more clicks, well, that's what we're going to talk about now, Chris. So how can you increase your ClickShare? Maybe before that, I should ask, why would you want to? What do you think about that? Do you think it's a metric that you should be trying to grow?
Again, I'm going to push off. I don't want to say it yet. I want to get through these definitions before I give my opinion.
Qualitative analysis. Okay. So let me rephrase that. How can you increase your click share if you wanted to?
Yeah. So to increase click share, again, straight from the Google Help Doc again, everything you can do to increase impression share and absolute top impression share is also useful for increasing click share. So this is not an opinion. This is straight from the document. I'm really interested, and the reason I highlighted this specifically is because of the specific metrics that they call out here. They mention two things. They mention increasing impression share, which we both know very well. Impression share, just how much of the market is showing up for, and then they also reference increasing the absolute top impression share, which is not absolute top percentage. That's absolute top impression share. So again, another very specific metric that they're referencing. So those two.
First thing this tells me, if you want to increase your click share, I'm going to say if you're limited by budget, increasing your budget can increase your click share. Because I think, based on the way they're saying this, everything you can do to increase your impression share. Well, one way you can increase your impression share if you're missing out on impression share, if you're losing it due to budget, is to increase your budget. Yeah. And so what I think happens is those auctions that you're limited by budget and your ad doesn't show, like when you search for your ad and you don't see it and it doesn't show, I think you're still competing in that auction, but you're not competitive because you're limited by budget. And they go, nope, this advertiser can't show on this search because they're metered by budget. So increasing your budget, if you're limited by budget, that can get you a higher click share. Absolute top impression share, Chris, sorry, but if it's impression share or just absolute top percentage, the way I look at that is just raising your bids. You can show up higher. So showing up higher, which should increase your click-through rate, all things being equal. If you get more clicks, your click share is going to go up. And then impression share lost due to ad rank. Lowering that is one way to improve your impression share. So how do you increase your click share? You get a better ad rank. We just talked about the bidding side of ad rank. The other thing that makes up ad rank is using extensions a little bit. That's part of ad rank. But the big other side of it is quality score. Raising your quality score could give you a better ad rank, or it will give you a better ad rank. That will show you higher, and that will get you more clicks. So we're not breaking news here, Chris. Like, this isn't rocket science stuff, but it does show you that the click share will show you the consequence of being limited by budget. It will show you the consequence of not bidding enough and getting a bad ad rank. It will show you the consequence of having a bad quality score and not getting enough ad rank. So it shows you the consequences of that. It shows you what you're missing. Now you have to factor that into your other decisions, like how much you want to bid and all that. But I like that it does show you, it takes the mystery out of it. Like how much, more could we get if we raised our budget? How much more could we get if we raised our bids, if we showed up higher more often? It's not going to answer those specifically for each of those decisions, but it does tell you overall what you're missing. And that's what I love about this click share column. It tells you what you're missing.
And I'm all about practical, understandable types of language when it comes to Google Ads, because it's so easy to be in the world of PPC and say things that make no sense to people that don't do it full time. So I like that click share is an understandable metric, because if I say your search impression share is low, so you're suffering from a very low search impression share issue.
And here are the many ways you could get your search impression share up.
Right.
Just throwing a bunch of stuff at you.
And people are like, well, they don't even know what I'm talking about. They lost me at search impression share, but click share, as in like how much of the click market you're getting, it's a little, it's a step up. I mean, there's still a little bit of marketing and metric lingo in there that they may not understand, but it's a little more basic. So I do like it for that reason. But
at the end of the day, you can. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But as a professional, and we can go into it here after the break. Why? What's the core issue that I have, and what my recommendations are for people?
Yeah, I just don't want to undersell that common language aspect to ClickShare. Like you said,
Yeah.
it is still a Google Ads term. It is still a marketing term. ClickShare, like what does that mean to someone who's hearing it for the first time? But it can be very simply explained. You got 40 clicks this month. Your ClickShare was 40%. You could have gotten another 60 clicks.
Yeah.
It's hard to make it much more simple than that. You could have gotten this specific amount of more clicks in this time period.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take a break. We'll come back, and guys, we're gonna spread opinions on this. Jason and I might disagree. There might be a fight, but hey, that's why you're here. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to remind you about Optio, our longtime sponsor and number one Google Ads software in the world. They don't tell me to say that, but that's what I think it is. It is the Google Ads software, the best in the world, and I use it. Jason uses it. It's the kind of tool that reminds me why I come back to it, because I'm a pretty strong guy, but every now and then I get I start feeling weak. I start feeling, and it is the crutch that helps me to get through those times of doubt when I don't understand, when I need to see things, and I need to be able to view things in a different way. It helps to take me outside of the box and see things in a bigger picture. Wonderful tool for creation of new ad copy, negative keywords, finding search terms that work, engrams, all kinds of stuff that I use it for. It's the tool and only tool that I use. We recommend it for you. That's optio.com/PSP.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So let's kind of close the episode here talking about how we use ClickShare, or in a more corrected way, I'm going to say how I'm going to start using ClickShare, because I have not been using it, like you were saying earlier. Not something we've been focusing on, because there's other metrics that you can kind of get the data that makes up ClickShare. But I like it. I like the simplicity of it, and I'm going to start using it. So let's talk about how we're going to be using or not using ClickShare going forward. So Chris, why don't you kick it off here with shopping, and then we'll get into search.
Okay. So as far as shopping goes, I do think that I might start using ClickShare more frequently in shopping. And the reason why is because it makes more sense to use ClickShare in shopping, because it provides information that would otherwise be unavailable, because shopping campaigns do not have absolute top and top percentage metrics. There are no position metrics when it comes to shopping. So I do like that the ClickShare takes in the idea of how much you're showing and where you're showing, and how much of that CTR, the click-through rate percentage that you're getting. Because when it comes to click-through rate on shopping, it can be very low. It can be the benchmark is very low. It's very hard to tell, how is my click-through rate, because there's so many impressions and so few clicks on shopping. So I do like that it takes that and kind of gives you a ClickShare percentage. It simplifies something that's very difficult to see and can be very unpredictable. So I do like it for shopping for that reason, because it wraps it all into a nice little package.
So are you going to use it to dial your bids up and down? Like if you have a high ClickShare but a bad cost per conversion, you can lower your bids, knowing that lower bids will help you get a lower cost per click. Lower cost per click should lead to a lower cost per conversion, and giving you the confidence to do that, because your ClickShare is currently high, and if you pull back, you'll still get enough clicks to spend your budget. Alternatively, if your ClickShare is low and you're not getting enough clicks, you can raise your bids. Or how are you going to actually use it with like a high ClickShare or a low ClickShare scenario?
That is a great question, and the fact is, I'm not going to use ClickShare to determine CPC bids for shopping.
So what are you going to use it for in shopping?
I said maybe, because I'm open to using it. I'm just saying I'm absolutely not, because my next opinion is going to be an absolute. But this is not an absolute not going to use. It's a maybe.
So you've lived without ClickShare and shopping and done well, and you foresee a day going forward where you're going to continue to do that, and you might mix it in.
Right. And in a moment, I'll answer the question exactly what I would use in that instance, but we're not there yet. So I'll say for now, no, it's definitely not an absolute. It's probably kind of a weak maybe.
I've
in
given
reality.
all of my powers and efforts and energy and devotion to search campaigns, remarketing,
Sure.
and a little bit of YouTube. And so I don't spend a lot of time in the shopping universe.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. And I'll say, Chris, are you going to use ClickShare for search campaigns?
Here we go. So, no. This is an absolute no. I won't use it. I don't care. I won't be adding it to my campaign ad group or keyword columns. Don't care about it. I will go into detail about why.
Go into detail.
And
Go ahead.
go ahead
You've
and go.
teased us
Okay.
enough. Yeah, please. We're
So,
ready.
okay. So, for me, the reason I won't use it is because it blends two separate competitive factors, making it difficult to determine which factor is the cause of poor performance. Okay.
Yeah, 2020 wants their ads back. They want, come on, Chris. I'm going to rebut this point in a minute, but
Okay.
maybe the world was a better place before March of 2020, but Chris is going to take us back there so we can visit what life was like in 2019 because he's about to go straight up into Google Ads 2019 thinking. So go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, what I don't like is that it blends these, and what I use instead, what I like to use instead are concrete metrics that tell me. So imagine there's a button or let's say a knob. Let's say there's a knob on a machine. And if I turn this knob up, there's other knobs that it's connected to that those also turn up to different degrees based on, how the system interprets how this knob should be turned, right? So, in some situation, there might be a search impression share loss due to rank that needs to come up higher when I turn the click share up or turn it down. It might move that one. In other instances, the click-through rate, the click-through rate needs to be adjusted. There might be ad copy issues or things like that. The problem is I don't like the blending of these. If I want to measure how I'm competitively doing on the market, I'm going to look at search impression share loss due to rank. If I want to know why I'm not getting click-through, I have a very low click-through rate, but I also have a very high position, I'm going to look at my search terms and my ad copy. And I'm going to make sure that this is relevant, that it makes sense, that it's all connected. It's highly connected and thematic about what the person's looking for. Absolute top percentage and top percentage. I'm going to look at those to understand, just because I have an 80% top percentage doesn't mean that I'm going to have then a very high search impression share. Those two don't always mix. I see plenty of times that have an 80% top percentage and a, let's say, 50% impression share. I need to know those independently of each other and not mixed in some basic, boring number that tells me a couple digits and I'm supposed to look at it and say, yes, sir, thank you, I'll get that better. No, I want to know the why. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You feel like you get to know the why?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
The why. I want to know the why.
Okay. What year is it?
Okay.
It's 2022, Chris.
Yeah.
You're talking like it's 2019.
You're right.
You're talking about this platform. You're looking at a bunch of knobs and you're dialing them up and down. And what I'm seeing is that, we are able to see a platform up and down and blah, blah, blah. And then the meaning of life is behind that platform.
Right.
And it's stuff we don't understand. And you can give yourself false confidence with these metrics. So the same reasons you like these metrics, they give you definity, they give you definition, like they give you certainty. I'm at a point now in 2022 with Google Ads, seeing the things I've seen. I like the simplicity of the click share number. That's what I like, because I've had many campaigns where we're missing out on 25% of impression share lost due to budget, and the limited by budget status is not there. I've seen many campaigns where impression share is 90% or 97%. And I say, I don't care. I'm going to raise bids by 300% this week and see what happens. And then we get a ton more volume. Like, my point is, having things seemed a little weird and vague and like, you just have to try a lot of things these days. And sometimes some interesting things happen in Google Ads way more than it used to be. I'm just saying, all the automated stuff, all the machine learning, all of that, I think it's all happening all the time. And yeah, I look at absolute top percentage. And if it's too low, I dial up my bids and it guides me. But at the same time, I kind of am at a point now with Google Ads where I do what I want to do. And despite the metrics, and sometimes it ends up working great. And you almost can override the metrics because you don't like ClickShare because it includes both your things like click-through rate, positioning, and all that, and ad rank and all that kind of stuff. But that's why I like it, because it includes all that, because everything is so interrelated that I like being able to look at this ClickShare column and go, oh, I'm only at 60%, even though, I'm just going to freaking dial it up because that's what I need to do. Or I'm at 80%, I'm going to dial it down. I don't know. I think everything is so interconnected these days with Google Ads that it's, even though you think you can be pinpointing what's causing you to show where and stuff like that, I don't think you really can these days. So I kind of like a overall number. But if I'm going to follow that theory, then the overall number is God is behind that number too. And you can't know what's behind that number, and the meaning of life will do what it does. You know what I'm saying? And then you just do what you want to do despite ClickShare. So I'm going to look at it the same I look at everything else, which is like guidelines that maybe I have to follow or not. And then see if I can drive through them. But I am going to use it a lot more because one question I get from client, first of all, Chris, I know I sound like I'm crazy, but I don't care because I get results. Does it sound crazy to you, or the things you see in Google Ads? Can you at least see my logic of saying, yeah, all this stuff is just guidelines anyway, and you can drive through it sometimes?
Yeah.
Do you at least see the logic in 2022?
Well, it's just yeah, I do. And it's just two different ways of managing. I mean, for me, I'm very much a hypothesis, experiment, and results kind of guy. I try and understand the why. I set up an experiment, I try something, I make a change, and then I look at the results at the end to see if it brought about the hypothesis that I had, which is the way that I run things.
As do I. But I take it one level further, and sometimes if
okay. Well,
if that experiment didn't get me what I wanted, I still think getting what I wanted is possible. If outside of the Google Ads system, it seems possible. Like, I don't think I can spend $100,000 a month on a moving campaign on good keywords in Topeka, Kansas, But I think maybe I can spend $4,000 instead of $2,000 when it tells me my impression share is 91%. So
okay.
And then second thing, I really like this column because, Chris, I get questions a lot from clients. How much more could we be getting? How much more could we be getting? They want some kind of certainty to that answer. And here's what I run into. I tell them, well, your search impression share is 60%. 5% is due to ad rank because we have all 10 out of 10 quality scores. And 35%, you don't even laugh at my jokes anymore.
Oh.
Or were you playing along saying, yeah, we all get 10 out of 10s? Interesting. But 35% is due to budget. And what I tell them is, yeah, so we can spend about a third more. We can increase your budget by a third, get you the same results. And I said 5% due to ad rank. Let's say that's actually 25%. But then what I have to tell them is, but once we spend more of your budget, there's still going to be more you can get because we can raise your bids and raise your ad rank and lose less due to ad rank. And then I have to tell them, how much can we get once we have higher ad rank? How big could that budget get once we're paying higher cost per clicks, once our click-through rate goes up? I don't know because there's all those factors. Yeah. So I like being able to tell them, well, you got 100 clicks this month. This metric, and we judge all metrics with a grain of salt because we've seen a lot of weird things happen. But this metric is saying we could be getting 180 clicks a month if we do a combination of raising your budget and raising your bids. Do you want to go there? Yeah. So it at least gives me a way to answer that question, which I haven't been able to due to that loss due to ad rank problem, where you can't tell trying to get higher ad rank, how that's going to affect the cost per click, the click-through rate, and the spend going forward. So now at least we have a place to point people to. Yeah. Very useful column in that regard.
I can see what you're saying there, and the problem is that click share number. It's only going to be as accurate as the numbers that go into it, unless there is that mystery factor like you're talking about, unless there is that, God factor inside there that we don't know. I don't know if that mystery factor is inside it, or if it's only as accurate as the numbers that's going into it. I'm saying that there is no mystery factor and it's only comprised of those numbers. So I would prefer to go straight to those numbers than to assume there's something mysterious about it, outside of those numbers.
But I just like that whatever mysterious factors are there, maybe it factors in it, maybe it doesn't. Like you've got all these keywords, right? And let's say you raise your bids on on all your keywords. What if there's like a percentage of keywords at the bottom that all of a sudden you raising your bids triggered something, and now you start showing for this set of keywords that you weren't showing before? Is that factored into ClickShare? It's very hard to see how all of that could be factored into ClickShare.
It says it is.
Well, it's either like the most awesome, powerful, all-seeing metric inside of Google Ads, but if it can factor in all these,
but search impression share does the same thing.
Factors.
Search impression share does the same thing. It factors in your search impression share for all things, whether you lose it due to budget or lose it due to rank. So it's essentially the same kind of number. What I don't like is that ClickShare also throws in a CTR and position and things like that.
And see, this ClickShare might, and all this discussion, it might be making the lazy man builders even lazier, because I think the more keywords you stuff into a campaign, and the more keywords that are very similar to other keywords, but they don't get any volume at all because of bids or because all the volume flows to keywords that are similar, that data might be throwing off your impression share numbers and your click share numbers, because there's just so much that it has to look at. Like, oh, this one keyword is similar to another one, but it doesn't get any impressions because it doesn't have as good an ad rank as the other keyword that's similar. But what if you bid up that one a bunch? Then it could start showing up on slightly different stuff. I kind of like the idea of very clean, simple campaigns, because one reason why I like that in general, but another reason why is it might make your click share and your impression share data more accurate. If this all-encompassing number or metric has less to look at and consider. I really don't know how it can consider all of that. Like,
yeah, I agree.
There's so many. It seems so hard to consider. And why would they?
We know just how daunting a broad match keyword could be. So imagine the click share of single broad match keywords, and it somehow trying to calculate what the potential of what it could show for.
It could be at a $5 bid versus a $75 bid. And I'm not kidding. Sometimes people have $5 bids and they should have $75 bids. How does it factor that in?
How does it factor in what it would rank for if it had a $75 bid for that one broad match term? It seems impossible that the system could calculate that infinite possibility.
So this is where we're the same in the sense that I'm not going to look at this number like, oh my gosh, it's this number. It's a definitive thing if I just do this, this, and that. But I am going to look at it and kind of let it be one other guideline along with the other metrics that might be super accurate, but it might be not, just because given the complexity of the system and how much you could do in it. But it is an interesting column. And for me, Chris, my big takeaway is that it does allow me to answer the question with some kind of concreteness. This is what you could be getting if you did a combination of a larger budget and more aggressive bidding. This is what you missed out on this month.
Right.
It helps. Yeah. It helps.
And I definitely like that, and I see it. For me, I'm not going to use it. I'm going to keep with what I've been doing because I hate change, and I'm going to push against that
forever.
So that's it. Forever. Yeah.
I just see like a asteroid hits Earth and the ocean comes up into Texas, and like you're looking at it and it's like 500 stories tall, and you're looking up and you're like, I hate change. I'm pushing back against this. 2 seconds later,
I reject you. Yeah. Yeah.
Really messed me up as a kid, Chris. Can you imagine being my age and then you're 13 or 14 and you go to the big screen, the movie theater, and you see Armageddon and Deep Impact in like a 6-month time period?
Yeah. Michael Crichton wrote a book about that, about Hollywood and all that kind of stuff.
Sorry, guys. I had to mute him on that one. It was just, who wants to hear that? Hey, Chris, where can people reach you? Sorry, that's the last time I'll abuse that button. I'll never touch it again. It's just too easy. Yeah.
I wish I had a button. I can't do anything. Okay, well, you want to find me and you want to hear what I have to say and you trust what I have to say, you can reach out to me for your own personalized consulting session. I will look at your account. I will point out all the things that you do not see. Guaranteed, I'll blow your mind. I've said it before. Somebody took me up on the challenge. I absolutely blew their mind. They were so thankful. It's worth it. ChrisSchaefer.com. Find me there and book a session.
Okay, and I'm at RothmanPPC.com for Google Ads Management and Consulting. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Check out the PPC Daily Podcast. Check out YouTube. And for all you people in the business out there, check out the jobs page. Share that with people you work with, and we'll get a lot of movement there, and we appreciate it. And we will see you next time on episode 312 of the Paid Search Podcast.